In 2004, Mitch was in his final semester at a college in Louisiana when he met another senior, a wonderful young lady named Kayla. 2 years later, the pair got married, and almost immediately Kayla got pregnant. By the time their daughter was born, Mitch was making so much money that Kayla decided to just stay home and be a full-time mom. A couple years later, Kayla got pregnant again. They had their son. Mitch adored his children. Shortly after his son's birth, Mitch was lounging on the couch in his TV room when he noticed out of the corner of his eye the red lamp in the corner of the room. It just looked funny. The entire lamp looked blurry, and nothing else was blurry. He rubbed his eyes and looked back over at this lamp, and it was still blurry. As he was watching TV, out of his peripheral vision, he couldn't help but notice this weird blurry lamp. In addition to being blurry, it appeared to be upside down. A few minutes later, his wife and his kids came home, and Mitch decided he would not tell them about this lamp. And so that night, the family has a sit-down meal, and then afterwards they play some games together, and then everybody goes upstairs and goes to sleep. Mitch was just laying in bed thinking about this lamp. And so finally he snuck out of his bed and went downstairs to the TV room, and he sat on the couch and he just stared at this lamp. And for hours and hours, he just fixated himself on this lamp. The next day, Kayla found Mitch lying on the couch passed out, and she asked him if he was okay. And again, Mitch didn't tell her about this lamp. He just told her that he wasn't feeling well and he was not going to go to work that day. But Mitch didn't go to work for 3 more days. He just sat on the couch and stared at this lamp. And then over time, as this lamp continued to morph and get bigger and get stranger and stranger, Mitch suddenly was unable to respond to his wife. Mitch realizes the lamp is now growing in leaps and bounds, and before long, the lamp is the entire size of the room, and all he can see is the red color of this lamp. And then Mitch starts to hear these voices, these screams coming from somewhere in the distance. And then he feels this blinding pain in his head, and then he opens his eyes, and he looks up and he sees he's laying on the sidewalk next to one of the buildings at his college in Louisiana. And surrounding him is this crowd of people with wide eyes that are staring at him. A police officer ran through the crowd, picked him up, and ran him over to his police car, and the officer would tell him he was attacked by a huge college football player. He got hit in the head, and he fell backwards, and he hit his head again, and he fell unconscious. Mitch asked the officer where his wife and kids were, and the cop said he had no idea. And that's when it clicked for Mitch. The lamp wasn't real. Neither was his wife, neither was his daughter, neither was his son, neither was his life. For the past 10 years, it was all a hallucination while he was unconscious after getting attacked. Mitch was brought to the hospital where he would make a full physical recovery, but after being released, he was horribly depressed, and he had to get intense therapy to basically grieve for the loss of his family that never existed.